Hello, everyone. I am Ramu CM, Senior Geopolitical Analyst at APAC Assistance. And with me today is Jeshil Samuel, my colleague and our Asia Pacific expert. In this quick audio brief, we will analyze how President Trump's return to the White House impacts key geopolitical regions, particularly in the Asia Pacific region and the Europe, Middle East, Africa regions. From heightened trade tensions to evolving conflict zones, Trump's policies are set to redefine the global landscape. Over to you, Jeshil. Let's start with the Asia Pacific. What's on the horizon?
Thank you for that introduction, Ramu. So, Trump's primary focus in the Asia Pacific is undoubtedly China. On multiple occasions, he has threatened to impose up to 100% tariffs on Chinese imports, and this move is likely to trigger retaliatory measures from Beijing. This could also escalate into a full-blown trade war, which in return would create challenges for US allies like Japan, South Korea, and Australia. The reason being these countries continue to maintain strong trade ties with China, and they would have a difficult task of balancing their strategic partnerships with the US on one hand, while managing economic reliance on China on the other. We are already seeing semiconductor firms in China beginning to diversify operations to other markets based on the ongoing tensions between both countries. On the security front, I would say Trump's Indo-Pacific strategy is expected to intensify. What that means is that we can expect greater US naval activities and stronger Quad collaborations. And these activities could increase tensions in hotspots like the South China Sea as well as the Taiwan Straits. And that would be from my side, Ramu. Could you now talk a bit about the implications for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa?
Thanks, Jeshil. Great points, and way to go how you summarized it, in a nutshell, the entire picture, dealing with trade and tariff war, China, Indo-Pacific security architecture, and whatnot. So over in the EMEA segment, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Trump's agenda is already signaling transformative changes. On one thing, on Ukraine, he has pledged to negotiate an end to the conflict, but at the same time, he is also reducing US military and financial commitments to NATO, thereby pressuring the European allies to step up. This recalibration may weaken NATO's cohesion and embolden Russia in a way to test its resolve, particularly in Eastern Europe. In the Middle East, Trump played a pivotal role in brokering the Gaza ceasefire, along with the administration of Joe Biden. And he leveraged his influence to push Israeli leaders towards the agreement. However, there is skepticism about the truce's durability, given the region's deep-seated tensions and the ongoing humanitarian challenges. Secondly, on West Bank settlements, his unwavering support for Israel is rather clear here, including controversial moves like removing sanctions on these problematic Israeli settler engagements in the West Bank region, and even in East Jerusalem for that matter. And this may reinforce, US-Israeli ties, but at the cost of risking escalating tensions in conflict zones like Hebron and, like I mentioned, East Jerusalem. Trump is also expected to expand the Abraham Accords, the agreement signed between Israel and the UAE, and he might target normalization on the same level with Saudi Arabia and Israel. However, Riyadh may demand progress on Palestinian statehood and US security guarantees in return. Meanwhile, let's talk about Iran, because his maximum pressure campaign on Iran will likely intensify, with strict sanctions aiming to curb Tehran's influence and nuclear ambitions. Just moving over to Africa, we expect continued US military cooperation to counter Russian and Chinese influence in the continent. Trump may even recognize Somaliland's sovereignty, which is a significant geopolitical move if you take it in the larger picture. While aid funding could be scaled back, American multinationals are likely to benefit from Trump's overall business-oriented approach, with commercial support remaining pretty strong. And this positions Africa as a competitive battleground for influence. Yeah, so I think we can jump on to the closing remarks. So overall, these developments across the APAC and the EMEA regions reflect the high stakes and transactional nature of Trump's second term. For businesses navigating these complex shifts, having tailored insights and risk assessments is more critical than ever. Contact APAC Assistance today through our website or email to learn how we can help you mitigate risks and capitalize on opportunities in this evolving global landscape. Also, reach out to us for in-depth analysis and bespoke strategies to safeguard your operations. Thanks for tuning in.